Hi, welcome to Maggie Chats Books. Today I'm going to do my weekly wrap-up. This week I completed 2 books, and the first book I completed was Cannery by John Steinbeck. This is one of his shorter books. In this format, it's 180 pages or so. It is a story that takes place in California during the Depression on a street called Cannery Row. And of course there's canneries there that can fish, and there's a general store run by a man from China. There is a brothel. There is a marine biologist who is called Doc. And then there is a group of other characters that you get to know during this novel. The story in itself could almost be said as simple, but the great thing I found about this book is that the characters are so well developed that you really get a feeling that you know these people and that they are more than just one-dimensional characters that he just throws in there. The other thing is I found in most of John Steinbeck books is that you get totally immersed in the setting that he describes. He writes very beautifully about a town that probably isn't that pretty, or the street isn't that pretty, but he makes it seem so real to you that you feel like when people are walking down the street you can walk down with them. Overall, I really liked this story more than I really thought I was going to, because when I read the synopsis I was like, that doesn't really sound like something I would like, but I heard so many good things about it I wanted to give it a try, and people were correct. It is a very touching, kind of nostalgic story, if you will, and I think each character is given such a fair shake that we don't have good, bad, or that kind of cut and dry characters that you get in some books. You get people that are very well-rounded, as I said. So overall, I really enjoyed this book and I'm very glad I read this one. And the last book, the other book that I finished, was The Immortialists by Chloe Benjamin. This book I wanted to read because I thought it was such a great premise. It is about 4 kids that decide to go visit a medium. They live in or a seer, I think they refer to her, and they live in New York City. They go there as a group, and the seer meets each one of them individually, and when she talks to them she tells them the date that they are going to die. So then you follow each of these 4 children into their lives and how that knowledge shaped their life. And it is so much more than I thought it was going to be. It is a book that just stays with you, that you just think about a lot. It is not uplifting, and it doesn't really give you any breaks, I would say. It almost seems like it could have happened, and it also she uses a lot of history. These kids were born in the late 50s, early 60s, I believe. So what they experience in life are some things that really happened in history, and it makes it even more believable. I just really liked this book. I just thought it was totally engrossing. In fact, I think I read it in 2 short sittings because it was just one that it was hard to put down. I thought it was going to be good, but I think it was better than I thought, and it was on a different level than what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't very gimmicky, which I think you could fall into if you were writing a story about knowing the day you're going to die. I think it was more exploring what a human would do to deal with this knowledge, whether you believed it or not, how you lived your life, or how you chose to experience life knowing this date. So I gotta say, this was a really great book. I'm very glad I read it, and it was, despite the synopsis, better than I thought it was going to be, even though I thought it was going to be good. So, good book. So what I'm reading now is Heft by Liz Moore. She wrote The Unseen World, which was her second book. This is her first book, I believe, and it is about a man who is grossly obese, I believe, and his life. That's all I know about it, but I loved The Unseen World. I thought it was just marvelous, and I've been wanting to read this one, and I think I'll take the time to read this one this week. The other book I want to read, and most of these books are ones that are on my shelf of TBRs that I want to get to and start reading, because most of the books there are ones I've heard really good things about, and so I think I will enjoy them. I just need to stop like getting library books and things like that and adding to my TBR. So the next book I'd like to get to this week is Exit West. It is one that people talked about so much last year. There were some really great reviews and some people on the fence on this book. Overall, I think most people liked it. It seems to be an kind of a fantasy, realistic type story blend, and I think I'll enjoy that, so I'll give this one a try this week as well. And then the last book that I want to read is Chappy by Patricia Grace. It is the book that we're reading for our Read Around the World book club book. It's been very hard to find, although it is on Kindle, so I was able to find it on Kindle. So I'll be reading that one as well. It takes place in New Zealand. I believe a young man comes back to New Zealand to learn about his history. I think he's originally from there, or his family is, and that's where the story takes place, predominantly in New Zealand, and it's his discovery of where he comes from, I believe. So that's all for this week. Please let me know if you're reading these books and what you thought of them. I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.